Hello everyone, and welcome to the Plant Biodiversity series. In this video, we will be working through the KZN June 2025 Provincial Exam question on the biodiversity of mosses. So let's jump into the question. So this question gives us a diagram of a moss plant, and we are given 4 different labels. So before we get to the answers, I would like you to work through the questions and then we will go through the answers. Right, so question 1.5.1 asks us to identify parts A and B. Part A is pointing to the capsule, also known as the sporangium. Note that these two words can be used interchangeably. The capsule contains the spores which will be dispersed and grow into a new moss plant. Label B is pointing to the seta. So the seta is the stalk-like structure which elevates the sporangium or the capsule into the air so that the spores can be released. Question 1.5.2 asks you to state the phylum to which the above plant belongs. So the above plant is a moss, and mosses belong to the phylum Bryophyte. So that is 1 mark. Question 1.5.3 asks us to name the dominant generation in the moss plant. That would be the Gametophyte. So when you are asked to name the dominant generation, the question is asking you, when you look at a moss plant, what do you see? The structure that we see when we are looking at the moss plant is the Gametophyte structure. This is the structure that is immediately visible. We don't really see the Sporophyte generation as it is reduced. So the dominant generation is therefore the Gametophyte. Remember that Bryophytes are the only plant division where the dominant generation is the Gametophyte. That is, the generation that gives rise to the gametes is the dominant generation. However, when we move on to the more advanced divisions such as pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms, we will now see that the sporophyte is then the dominant generation. So when we look at a gymnosperm, when we look at a pteridophyte or an angiosperm, the structure that we are seeing is the sporophyte, and that is dominant. Moving on to question 1.5.4, name the part that absorbs water and nutrients in the moss plant. That would be the root. So give yourself a mark out of 5 for this question. Thank you very much.